My blissful gorgeous selves, we have explained in last 5 lectures Atha Yogam Shasanam and Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha Antadadrishta Swarupe Avasthanam. Now let us understand how many and what are those vrittis of man, buddhi, romance and ego which are challenging us when we strive to advance towards enlightenment or any higher stages of evolution of consciousness. So, my dear friends, let me tell you in the words of Maharshi Patanjali. He says, Pramana viparjaya vikalpa nidra smritayaha. Praman means images found by direct contact between senses and their objects. And viparjaya means misconception, misunderstanding, misperceiving. And vikalpa means fantasy, illusion. Imagination, and nidra means a state of brain when it is devoid of images of reason and will and movements of mind, and smriti means a memory of sense perception. So the meaning is the 5 kinds of fluctuations are direct sense perceptions and misconceptions, or misunderstanding, or fantasy and sleep, and recollections of past perceptions. Okay, so these 5 areas are the fields where the mind is accustomed to wander all life, ever since you are on the cradle to your deathbed. Whole life you have to roam in these fields, 5 fields. Okay, they are very familiar and comfortable to the mind and your heart, your emotions, but if we allow our fluctuations to drift into rajasic and tamasic tendencies, mystic trance becomes very difficult to attain, or any evolution of consciousness becomes very difficult or impossible to attain. However, when the fluctuations are refined and cultured and well organized through yogic practices and yogic philosophy, they become sattvic. Then the complete suspension of fluctuations occurs, and you enter timeless, breathless, egoless dimension of mystic trance or samadhi, entering the unifying with absolute reality in the form of your own self, my dear friends. And this is yoga. Start with the most familiar phase of the fluctuational world. Okay, the physical realm, and by you will levitate to higher realms of astral and celestial and transcendental and more levels of the existence. Now, let us see what correct understanding is and what its sources are. So, they are pratyaksha, anuman, agama, pramanani. Okay? Pratyaksha means direct cognition, and anuman means an inferential cognition, and agama cognition through spiritual texts, the Vedic texts. Pramanani means sources of correct understanding. So there are 3 sources of correct understanding. The first is direct cognition, the second is inferential cognition, and the third is cognition through Vedic text. The words of the sages and rishis and yogis who have higher power, superior power, cosmic conscious yogis. So their words are praman. Okay, that is proof. Yogi Patanjali systematically describes the sources of healthy and correct understanding, my dear friends, through which you can evolve, you can stay healthy, you can stay happy in your life. The first source of correct understanding is direct, that which you perceive clearly through any of the 5 non-obstructed senses. Okay, You see the sun and know that it exists. The second source of correct understanding is less direct, but equally is factual when obtained in a systematic process. You see the sun and know that it exists. Standing in front of it, you feel its warmth, but standing in the shade, the warmth is gone. Thus, you infer that the warmth comes from the sun. The third source of correct understanding is done by oneself, but through the medium of another who has known and understood the subject fully. Through their own direct experience, they have known it, and so you can learn it, you can accept it, embrace it, love it. Such a person is known as authentic source of understanding, who is known as sage, is the master, our Jagat Guru, our Shankaracharya, our Ramanujacharya, and Nimbarkacharya. They are known as Nammalwar and many others. For instance, the beginning seeker knows that samadhi is possible, and by comes to understand how it is achieved, and this understanding comes from outside of himself. He may never have experienced samadhi on his own, but because the sage has, the understanding comes to him. Satsanga says, many very righteous and gentlemen and gentle ladies say, Patanjali tells us that this understanding is equally valid and true as long as information obtained from any of these three sources of correct understanding does not contradict what has been understood by those of clear perception in the past. It can be trusted as authentic, okay? So don't do any mistake. Many times what appears to be true through that perception is not true. The magician pulls an elephant out of a hat or cuts a lady in half, and she still lives. These perceptions are false, okay? There is a magician comes from Bengal, and he makes Taj Mahal, whole Taj Mahal vanish away in thin air, right in front of your eyes, but appear to be true through direct cognition. So the magician knows how to create illusion and distract the eye and mind into believing his illusion. So the same way, there are many illusions. They are presented even by Google, even by many sources of trust and beliefs, okay? So, my dear friend, what appears, so don't believe in illusions, don't believe in half-baked proofs. What appears true through inference can also be deceiving. Darwin observed that we resemble apes and found many skeleton structures appearing to link human beings to the ape family. So he inferred we evolved from apes. This is not true. It is proved. But it is widely accepted in Western culture and taught in the public school system. There is also the common inferred and mistaken belief that Aryans invaded India from Asia sometime before 2000 years or 25,000 years BC. The date of the supposed Aryan invasion keeps moving back as scientists discover earlier and earlier archaeological remnants of ancient civilizations. But they continue to adhere to their mistaken belief that Aryans came from somewhere else. No, they never came from anywhere else. They were born in India, lived in India, survived in India, developed a great civilization, great culture and great religion and spread it all over the world, and the world became happy. But somehow now it has diminished and became limited only in India, and now the mistaken views are being hurled on India itself from the West. So historians keep misinforming the public, even though it has been known for centuries among India's elites that Aryans are none other than their own countrymen who first lived in the Himalayan region. So similarly, people are equally confused in the search of wise men. Many Westerners believe that modern day evangelists are the elite of God's messengers, while many Easterners believe that miracle performers are enlightened people, Siddha Mahatma. In this field of Praman, or correct understanding, is one of the 5 fields where vrittis roam. It is one of the most highly beneficial fields to keep the mind engaged in, but in order to do so, awareness is necessary, my dear friends. As we have seen, there are many loopholes which lead from the realm of understanding towards the realm of misunderstanding. The second playground of vrittis, that is, in order to avoid slipping into misunderstanding, we must make sure that our present understanding does not contradict past understandings which have been proven correct by those of clear perceptions. There are a wide variety of authentic sacred texts, 56 in number, which provide the clearest possible information. They have been prepared by established and well-known and enlightened yogis and sages in order to follow the track of evolution laid out by this Yoga Sutra. One must have the discerning ability to comprehend the scriptures and compare the present field of understanding with them. In this way, contradictions immediately become apparent and one cannot be led astray. Okay? So therefore, my dear friend, you should not be just like vegetable, spineless, bottomless vegetables. You have a common sense, you should have a common sense. You should have a little bit of intuition, your Jamir should have awakened. Okay? So then you will proceed further with us. Now let us understand misunderstanding. What is misunderstanding, my dear friends? Misunderstanding is like booking office to imprison people behind the bars of stupidity. Misunderstanding is individual step towards trap of spider webs of Maya. Okay? He that is not aware of his ignorance will be only misled by his knowledge. Richard Watley says that, I think. Viparyayo mithya jnanam atadrupa pratishtham. Viparya means misunderstanding, my dear friends. Mithya means illusory. Jnanam means knowledge. Atad means not of its own. Rupa means real form. And pratishtham means based on. So, misunderstanding is an illusory supposition about the form of a person, a place, a thing, which does not correspond to the reality of it. So, in modern civilization, misunderstanding is splitting up couples, families, splitting up societies, dividing nations, and even destroying international unity, my dear friends. It is like a drop of a worst kind of poison which can never be digested. As much as you hide or conceal it, it burns and rots everything around it. Look at what happened recently, the NATO, the America and Russia war through Ukraine. All these months and months, billions and billions of dollars which was supposed to be spent in flourishing human standard of life, all are wasted in just killing others, destroying your constructions. So this is what happens to misunderstanding, spreading a horrid stench of decomposing psychology. This is men and women who give in easily to misunderstanding are the most dangerous people for families and society, because they are unwilling to work on themselves, unwilling to listen to their intuition, to their jameel, to their conscience. They are deaf towards their conscience and confront existing discrepancies in their personalities. To become more wholesome, more refined and happy individuals, they seek strongly to their logged-in patterns of likes and dislikes. This creates a blindness, my dear friend, which hinders them from seeing what is best for themselves and all others surrounding them. On a large scale, they are like the citizens of Greece who convicted Socrates, the high priest, and citizens who plotted the death of Jesus, and stone throwers of Mansur. You must keep your distance from such people unless they find Yoga Sutra, remember it, and work diligently on the formulas of right understanding. Individual misunderstanding is based on coming into contact with someone or something and forming a mental image which does not correspond with its actuality. At the same time, the misunderstander is not concerned with the correctness or definiteness of this and her own mental impressions, but only with the relation between the object and the mental image formed in his or her mind. Okay? Nowadays, the political correctness, in the name of political correctness, a great misunderstanding is being spread, induced and enforced in the brain of most elite people all over the world. So this subject is widely described in our book entitled Surrender to Betrayal. We refer you to this book for assistance in writing yourself of all lingering elements of misunderstanding. In the same way, the identity crisis and intellectual chaos which modern civilization is facing is based primarily on the refusal to accept the existence of superior civilizations and wisdom from the past. Modern society perceives past civilizations and wisdom as rivals to its ego and has therefore skillfully complicated the world's history. There remains nothing with which to compare and enhance the depths and levels of modern day elevations and integration of thought, speech and character. Because of this, modern civilization remains very shallow and is completely fixated on body gratifications, sex and value orientation. So this is why everything seems to be rushing towards utter destruction. Its basis is in pure misconception and misunderstanding. In order to rise above this state, a new formula is necessary. The formula to solve the ominous problem of world disaster is simple. Understand how present-day civilization relates to the entire tapestry of human civilization. Read our message and be confident of it, otherwise the plague of misunderstanding will spare no one. Error is not a fault of our knowledge, but mistake of our judgment, given assent to that which is not true. The Locke has said that. So, my dear friends, we will discuss the further sutra in our next meeting. Thank you very much. Oh.